Hi, I'm Curtis, and welcome to my show. My first show on NCTV, Novato Community Television. Hope you enjoy what we're doing here. I've got two recipes today. The first one is a chicken piccata. The second is a chili recipe, a no shame in your game chili, I call this one. You're gonna enjoy it, I hope, as much as I enjoy making it. Okay, y'all, let's get back to the kitchen. Remember, spread love. If you like what we're doing, tell a friend or three. We got a great recipe for today, quick, easy. Your family will love you for it. Chicken piccata, made easy. Ingredients for a chicken piccata. Of course, chicken, and I'm using chicken breasts that I've taken, cut in half, then I butterflied them. So we got a nice thin piece of chicken breast, all white meat there. And a lot of people will take and put that on this two pieces of parchment paper on a cutting board and just pound them out a little more. So if you want to do that, feel free. Then I've got flour because we're going to quickly fry the chicken breast and set it aside. Olive oil, salt and pepper, and I just love my little gadgets. The kids gave Lisa and me for Christmas. Or was this for my birthday, honey? I don't know. Oh, this was a birthday gift, so you can't use it. Just kidding. Okay, so I season the flour with a little salt and pepper. You can also season your chicken breast. Now, that's what we're going to need to fry the chicken. Then we'll start to make our piccata sauce. We've got garlic cloves. I've got underneath my little dish some butter, because Mama says butter always makes it better. Capers. I'm going to use some fresh lemon. This came from my neighbor across the street, Vic and Carol. I traded them fresh oranges from the backyard for some of their Meyer lemons, because our lemon tree is still a baby and it's not producing yet. We're hoping next year we'll get our first harvest of lemons. I've got some white wine, and I think you've seen me use this before in videos. I love the La Crema. This is a Sonoma County wine, a little Chardonnay we're going to use. And the old rule that Julia said, if you won't drink it, why the heck would you cook with it? To finish up our sauce, I'm going to use some cream, and then I've got some stock. Most people use chicken stock or chicken broth. I use vegetable broth for everything. In the recipe it calls for broth. I use a vegetable broth because I do believe that allows the flavors of all these wonderful things come out more. Okay, so we'll come back and we'll fry up this chicken and we'll get going. Peace. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to our saute pan and allow that to heat up while we prep our chicken. 1001, 1002, that's a little slower pouring, so I'm gonna double up time there. That's roughly 2 tablespoons and a bit more. While that's getting hot, let's go ahead and prep our chicken. Simply the flour that I've seasoned, and we're going to coat our chicken in the flour. Take your time, just really coat those well. And don't rush yourself, because it's going to take, a minute or so for that oil to get nice and hot. And we've got about, I think 7 or 8 pieces. And notice now I have that chicken in an ice bath just to keep it cool, or to keep it temperature. Don't want anyone to get sick in your kitchen. Okay? By cross-contamination. Take your time, get all your chicken coated with flour. And if you're not a big fan of flour, you can use breadcrumbs. If you are, wanting to cut back on the gluten, you can use rice flour. There's so many different substitutes that you can use instead of the just regular flour. Okay. All right. Let's see. Just gonna test that. Ooh, getting there. Not quite. Got a couple more pieces to coat here. Just coat those over. And again, if you don't worry about over seasoning or under seasoning, because you're going to make that wonderful piccata sauce that is with the capers, and it has a nice little saltiness to it already. So never fear, when you're adding your, let's see how we do here. We're getting there. Oh, there it is, that nice little sizzle. And I'm using my large saute pan here because we're making, this is going to be quite a big portion here. We got, should I say, a large amount of chicken we're going to serve. We're going to fry here. I'm having a hard time talking today. What's up, Curtis George? Okay, let's put that. Get all of our bird in there. I don't want to use my, there we go. Catch yourself, no fingers on the bird. All right, I've traded my fork for some tongs. I'm just going to start turning that chicken. Oh, look at that gorgeous color there. And because I put so much chicken in the pan, I may add a little more olive oil here. I'm also going to lower the heat just ever so slightly. Oh, that's gorgeous, gorgeous chicken. Isn't that beautiful? I'm gonna turn the burner down just a little bit because we're gonna need a little more oil when we start to make that piccata. All right, just doing a little temperature check there. One of the great things about cooking these small pieces of meat, they cook quickly. That's right about 160. Oops, we got about 155. I'll just cook about a couple more minutes and we'll be good to go. Our chicken is looking good here. I'm going to take it off the burner, just turn the heat off. And if you notice on my left here, I've got a plate, paper towel underneath, and just a bake rack on top to allow that excess oil to drain. So we're going to take that and set it aside. And we can make our sauce right in our pan. Isn't that gorgeous? Mama would love some of this fried chicken. Miss you, baby. Think about you all the time. Okay, fried chicken. First thing she taught me to cook. Before we finish up the piccata sauce, I thought I'd show you how I prep the chicken before frying it. One of my favorite safety tips in the kitchen, and it's so easy. Just a wet paper towel underneath your cutting board, and it will lock that board in place. And why is that so important? Well, a slippery cutting board means a slippery knife, and someone could get hurt. This tip works well with just the plastic or acrylic cutting boards as it does with the wood cutting boards. Look at that, it just locks it into place. Try to move that, you can't, not even if you're Hercules. Steps to preparing that chicken, or prepping it as we say, to get it ready for the saute pan. Now, that's a chicken breast. That's about a 10 to 11 ounce chicken breast, and that's too much for one serving. You can get nearly 4 servings out of that. So what I like to do is cut the breast in half, like so. Okay, trim any excess fat away. A little fat is okay, but you don't want too much. And then what I do is I stack it. You see I turn it up on the side, so it sits up well, and you can butterfly right through that. And you've got 3 portions already. Okay, 1, 2, here's a third one. And now that one seems a little thick as well. I'm going to take and just kind of slice through that, and be careful because we're truly butterflying. Just slice all the way through, turn it over, and we've got 4 portions out of that one chicken breast. And as you saw in the video earlier, while I was doing the cooking, I keep a little ice bath for the chicken, place it right back in there, and that keeps it down to the temperature until you're ready to fry. Tips on preparing chicken. Chicken's all done. We've got a nice pan. Oh, I could make some gravy with that. Hey, this is kind of a sauce, right? So we're going to add to the olive oil and the drippings that were left about 2 tablespoons of butter. That's not quite a tablespoon, a little short there. So I'll make this one a little larger. Just going to melt that in the pan, okay? And going to add a couple of cloves of garlic. Well, I'm going to actually add 4 cloves of garlic, but I want to crush 2 in, and I'm going to press 2 in. So that's the first of the pressed. 1, uno. Work on my Espanol. And here comes dos. Como se dice en español? Here comes the second. All right. Oh, I just love the smell of garlic in the kitchen while that butter. Now, I know a lot of fancy dancy guys don't do this, but I just love garlic so much. I even take this little part out and throw it in there too. Oh, all that flavor. And we're gonna just kind of swirl this around the pan in that butter, along with 2 cloves that I simply smashed. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it smells so good. Lemon juice. I'm just going to squeeze the lemon juice right in there. Lower that heat just a bit. And add my capers next. Whoops, let you see that. Capers. Woo. More lemon juice. I just want about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice there. Another great way of controlling your heat. Just raise it off the pan. Now let's have a sip. And the rest goes in our pan there. That works as a deglazer as well. Deglaze means just kind of loosen all that good stuff up on your pan there. Gonna add that chicken stock. Did I say chicken stock? Gonna add that vegetable stock. Allow this to reduce ever so slightly. I'm gonna raise that heat back up, okay? Take your time right here. If you could smell my kitchen, woo! I'll turn that heat up a bit. It smells so good in here. How's it smell, baby?
Oh, unbelievable.
Yes! Are you saying that because you love me or because it really smells good?
Both.
Did y'all hear that? She said both. Right on. Okay, I'm just going to stir this a bit. Last ingredient in our picante sauce is our cream. And I'm using heavy cream. Remember, if you are worried about those calories or that saturated fat, you can use a mixture of cream and skim milk or whole milk in place of cream. Recipes are just starting points. Remember that. Don't get locked in. If you want to do something one way, try it. They're just starting points, I like to say. I'm going to stir that in so that it does not curdle on us. Add about 1/3 cup. Isn't that gorgeous? Gonna let this cook down, and I'm gonna constantly stir it. I want that to. Ooh. I love cooking almost as much as I love serving people the food I cook. And I like eating it myself. I like tasting myself. Isn't that gorgeous? See that bubbling up like that? Oh, hey now. Hey now, he's a rock star. Get your game on. Let's play. Okay. I'm going to add just a tad more butter just to kind of smooth it out and give it a little shine on the top. About ready to lower this heat. Now we're going to add our chicken back to the pan. A little more. That lemon smells so good, and whoops, a little drop there. I think I got a little bit on my shirt. Oh well. Now we could serve this so many ways. You could serve it with pasta, little mashed potatoes on the side with some broccoli, maybe. Boy, I'm so hungry I can't talk. Doesn't that look good? Gonna let that reduce. Oh wow, everything is looking so good. We're ready to plate it up. Here's our little, oh look at that. Our piccata sauce, isn't that gorgeous? I'm gonna put a little of that over the pasta. And I made a little, just a salad there with cherry tomatoes, sliced cherry tomatoes, fresh basil, and then I just drizzle it with a balsamic reduction. How does that look, huh? Fit for your queen or your king. In my case, it's for my queen, Lisa. I'm gonna add just a little bit of, I got cilantro here. I love the flavor that cilantro adds to dishes. I'm gonna serve that with a little bit of that La Crema Chardonnay. Let's take a bite. The piccata is ready. We plated it up. Now all we need to do is taste it, huh? What do you think? Sip of wine first or sip of wine later? Can't go wrong either way, right? Remember the rule. If you're not gonna drink it, why in the world would you cook with it, right? That's a gorgeous Chardonnay. And I've got my pasta there. Wow. That's heaven on a fork. Bon appetit. Remember, the recipe will be in the description. If you like what we're doing on this little spot, keep tuning in. Tell a friend. Or 3. Peace, spread love. Baby, that is really good. You hungry? Let's eat. Let's have dinner. Dinner time. How about chili? Do you like chili? What is chili? It's just a soup. It's stew. That's all it is. So don't trip out. Don't ever allow people to culinary shame you because you make a quick and easy chili. I'm going to make one today that's so easy. So easy. Let's do it. Check it. Check it. The ingredients for our chili. I've got an onion, just a big old onion. I've got a piece of shallot that I had left, like half a shallot. About a pound of ground beef. You can use any meat you want, but this is a quick, easy one, so let's use the ground beef. Gonna use some olive oil. Got the rest of the stuff gonna be cans. I got cans of beans, I got kidney beans, the pinto beans, and a little bit of tomato sauce, okay? Then my homemade chili powder. Again, don't be shamed. You can go out and buy chili powder that's pre-mixed, 2 cups of water, okay? Let's go to work. All right, let's get our chili started. I'm going to, first thing we do is got to turn the burner on, right? We're gonna brown our ground beef. Just throw it in there and we're just gonna break it up and allow this to cook. Again, this recipe is easy, it's simple. Pound of ground beef. And while this is browning, notice how I'm just breaking it up because I want the meat to be evenly distributed throughout our chili as we make it. What I'm gonna do is brown this meat, then I'm gonna drain the fat. Okay, look at that. Our beef is browning nicely. Now this is what I'm going to drain out. You see that, all that there? And truth be, or as they say, full disclosure, black folk don't usually drain that. Like we have that in our food. I'm making a joke when I say that, but the truth is, like, our ancestors, we needed those calories because we were outside working, and no joke. So as our lifestyles have changed, that saturated fat, we need to remove it from our diet. So that's the reason we're going to drain that fat because there's already enough fat in the meat. So we'll drain as much as possible, and it's a healthier chili. It's a good chili there. That's browned nicely, and as you've noticed, the onions are chopped as well. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off. Take my slotted spoon, slotted spatula, and just scoop all the beef out so we can get rid of that liquid in the bottom. Now this meat is unseasoned. There's been no chili powder, salt, or anything added to it. This was just to render the excess fat. And I bought, to make this chili, an 80-20 blend. 80% lean, there's 20% fat. So there's quite a bit of fat that has to come out of there, okay? All right, now we'll get rid of that, come back and start to build our chili. Okay, we are back at the stove top. That stuff is gone. I've turned the burner back on high. I'm gonna add my onions because I wanna cook those We are building the chili. Remember, it's all about the layers of flavor. Le oignon. Okay. I'm going to add the shallot a little later in the recipe because remember, shallots have a milder onion flavor. So we're going to add those a little later. Going to stir it up. Little darling, stir it up just a little bit. We're going to let these cook for about 2 to 3 minutes before we add the ground beef back to it. Now, the onions are looking good. Look at that there. They're going to become a little translucent. Here is a trick I love doing when I'm making chili, whether I'm making a really complicated chili or just like this quick and easy one. I've got my powder, my chili mixture, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on each layer. I'm seasoning those onions. And when we add the beef, we'll add a little more. And the great thing about making your own spice blends is that you easy to think, hard to say, you can control the heat ratio, right? If you really like it hot, go ahead and grind up some of those habaneros when they're dry in the summertime. Get a few extra, dry them up, grind them up, and you can really bring the heat. Or like me, I really love mild chilies, so I cut back on the hot, spicy part. Isn't that gorgeous? Now those onions are coated with the chili flavor as well. So as we build our layers of flavor, it just intensifies. Onions are looking really, really nice there. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of oil, olive oil, and I'm not measuring it. I'm just gonna show you a trick. Remember, count 1001, 1002 is roughly 2 tablespoons of oil, okay? And I'm using that olive oil. Stir up our onions. That's looking good. Now let's add our beef back to the recipe. And I'm going to place a lid on this to sweat those onions and to bring out the liquids in those onions. Okay, lower that heat. Oh, look at that. You can just see the flavor in there. And I'm going to add 1 cup of my water here, agua. Stir it up, little darling. The house is smelling good already. There's nothing like having soup, stews, chilies, cooking in the house. Today is January 21. The year is 2020. And tomorrow, January 22, I turn 62. My goodness. I still feel like a teenager. Okay, water's gone in. I'm going to add my kidney beans. These are the light colored kidney beans. I did not drain this can. You can drain them and rinse that off. However, I love that liquid that starts this in there. So I want to add that. It adds a little flavor. Look at that. Ooh la la. And notice I open this can from the bottom because the cans have been sitting in the fridge. The cans have been sitting on the shelf or whatever and these have been here maybe a month. Things kind of settle on the bottom. So I open the bottom and it drains out a little easier, okay? And I've got one more can of beans I'm going to add. These are a can of pinto beans. Again, I didn't drain those. Going to add that liquid right to it. And if I want, I've got 2 more cans of beans to add. 1 kidney and 1 pinto. I think I might go ahead and add those, all right? When you come back, we're going to add the last of the water. I'm going to add more chili powder right now. I'm going to let it cook a bit. I get all of it in there now. Remember, salt and pepper. Salt helps to bring things out, bring flavors out. So don't be afraid to use salt. Just don't overdo it. All right, let's take a look at our chili. Looking good, huh? I'm going to give it our first test for taste. And you go, wait a minute, it's not cooked yet, Kurt. It's not done yet. Well, everything really is. Remember, we browned the ground beef, so that's safe to taste. And the rest is just vegetables, right? beans and those things. So I'm just going to taste the broth so I can adjust the seasoning just a little bit. Oh wow, that is really good, quite tasty. Now, this recipe, again, it's about easy, it's about simple, it's about no hassle. The rest of my chili powder is going to go in. It's going to really give it that strong chili flavor, chili flavor. And again, I talked to you earlier about not being culinary shamed. I don't want you to let people tell you because you do it quick and easy, it's not good food. It's great food, okay? Now this is that shallot. It was a larger one, so it's a little stronger in the flavor, and I love that. I'm just adding it right to the top. I diced it pretty fine, but don't trip out. You can chop it as small or as large as you'd like. Just get it in the pan. We're gonna stir that up, and I'm gonna show you two last tricks here. If you feel like it's not tomatoey enough for you, ketchup. A little ketchup added to it. And also, ketchup has some sugar in there that's going to add a little zing-zang to it as well. What's a zing-zang? It's just a flavor thing. This I love. 100% Italian. It's a tomato paste. It's like those Marciano, those beautiful Roman tomatoes from Italy. This one I pretty much used up, so I've got another one on standby. See if I got I don't like to waste, so oh yeah, we'll get it all in there. Just squeeze that right in there, just to give you that tomato flavor without having big chunks of tomato, which my sweetheart doesn't care for. Now, I love tomatoes in my chili, but just not, she just doesn't like the big chunky tomatoes. So that's why we're making this one relatively chunk free. So we're gonna let this come to a boil, which you can see it's happening there. I'm gonna allow it to simmer, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes. The longer it simmers, the more those flavors come together. Now, for those of you that like cooking and the slow cooking methods with the crock pots and such, great recipe with crock pot. Just throw it all in there and let it go to town, cook all day, or Instapot. Those type things work. We'll come back and give it a taste when it's ready. Peace. Remember, recipe can be found in the description. Spread love. 5:16. Our chili should be beautiful by now. Been simmering it, so let's take a sneak peek, as we say. Oh, look at that. Now you see how it's reduced on the sides there. That's about, what, 3/4 of an inch to an inch. Let's stir it up, little darling. We'll come back and serve up our chili. Oh, that looks so good. Are you hungry? Remember, quick, simple, simple and easy. Not so quick because I cooked it a long time. And that's because I've just been working in the yard and goofing off. All right, we'll come back, we'll taste it up. Serve it up, then taste it. All right, there's our bowl of chili. And I've got some fixings on the side. Of course, you can serve it up just like that. Tasty, tasty. I'm gonna garnish it with a couple of things. I've got some cheese here. A little cheese. Sharp cheddar. Then I've got green onions and cilantro. Cilantro is an absolutely wonderful member of the parsley family that is great with beans and in soups. Something else I want you to think about. When you next time you make your fresh salad, go ahead and take some leaves, the leaves of the cilantro, and add it to your salad. Now this is not just a garnish. I'm adding this because of the flavor. I've chopped up a good handful, maybe, I don't know, tablespoon. I'm gonna add that right to my cheese. Then I also have some green onions or scallions, whatever part of town you come from, green onions, scallions. Remember, when buying green onions, they want to look nice and fresh, and they should stand up. You see that? That doesn't flop over, so that means they're nice and fresh. Same thing with the cilantro. Should have a beautiful freshness to it. And look at that stem. There's no problem with that stem. Okay, garnish it up. Cilantro. You could also put some tomatoes in there if you'd like. Add a little more cheese to the top of this. I absolutely love chili with cornbread. Mom used to make that for us when we were younger, and I just love chili. I'm gonna put a little dollop of sour cream on there. And I think it's time to dig in. The house smells so good when chili or soup's cooking in it. Did you notice my wardrobe change? Well, a little earlier, I got the tail of my shirt and some of my fixings on the table. So, quick wardrobe change. Now, did you like the way that chili looked? Ooh-wee. Let's give it a taste. And I want to get a bite of everything. The cheese is starting to melt in there. Add a little cornbread, mama's cornbread to it. Mmm. Woo. That's good. Excuse me. Talking with my mouth full. Okay, remember now, you can garnish it with things you like. We have some fresh tomatoes, some jalapenos, whatever you want to do to spice up your chili. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. And more than that, I hope you will try to prepare this recipe. It's simple, it's easy, great, great chili. And please don't let anyone culinary shame you. Easy is okay when it comes to cooking. Just make sure you put love in it. Peace, spread love. See you soon. Hey baby, dinner's ready. I don't know if I like that chili or not. Maybe I should try one of the bowls to see if it's really as good as I think it is. What do you think, Lisa?
Yum.
Peace out. Peace out.